Alright, I am recording, and played Noah. Oh boy. A stressful game? I think we both just had our most stressful game of the season. I know it was mine. We'll get right into it, but I will show you guys my team first. In prepping, I switched between so many different things, especially on the Scyther. At one point I had a banded set. I was thinking about doing a scarf. I think I even had the berry that resists rock type moves on him at one point. I was gonna run a tailwind on him at some point as well. So I was doing a lot of things with Scyther, but I ended up going Eviolites with some moves and Sword Dance. Then I had a red card on the Sphinx. I just wanted to trip him up a little bit with that. Basic support moves and Psychic. We had the Almighty Double. Basic set on him, full defense, full HP. We made a swap this week, dropping Ninetales for Skunk Tank, so we brought him. He's got a basic tank set, Poison Jab, Crunch, Toxic, and my blunder move, Taunt. We'll see that in the game. Then we got Sir Gawain, the Glade. Damaging moves, a Life Orb, and a full attack Adamant. With enough speed to outspeed, I believe I calced it for a Ludicolo, and then just I put the rest in special defense. And then Raichu here, we got the berry on him that resists ground type moves for one effect. And then Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Electro Web in case I really needed to slow something down. Just kind of threw it on there, and then Nasty Plot. If we get the chance, we can set that up. So that was my team. Super unsure about it. Super, like, Noah just had a tough team to prep for. So everything I was bringing was like, yeah, hopefully it works. But we'll hop into the game here. So nice. Let me go back. Dang. So his team's looking pretty normal. Pretty much what I prepped for, except for the Ludicolo. I didn't think he'd bring it, but I wasn't necessarily not expecting it either, so nothing too weird. The one thing I am expecting him to run is a Scarfed Pinsir, because that's pretty much the only thing on his team that absolutely destroys Scyther. So I don't want to open up with him, and I think I choose to open up with Meowstic, and he has the Pinsir. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm like pretty sure that this thing is Scarfed if he's leading it. Because in my head, he's expecting me to lead Scyther, so this is his best answer to that. So we just Thunder Wave this guy right away. He sets up rocks, and then he goes into Aromatisse. We get a Reflect Up that turn, and then afterwards we switch into Skunk Tank, because in my head, Skunk Tank was meant to block this thing out from doing any condition moves. However, silly me did not know what the Aroma Veil ability did, so I'll just let this play. Things happen, we try to taunt, and I learn it doesn't do anything, and then he sets up a Calm Mind, and now I'm going, oh shit. Luckily, we have physical moves, so Poison Jab is still hitting him for enough to break sub. He sets up again, and then I believe we just Poison Jab him again and do a good 43, which is still pretty good damage, but Aromatisse was still making me very worried. So he sets up another sub. He also gets poisoned, which is a little lucky. I think the chance is 30% on Poison Jab. We get rid of Substitute, and he takes, excuse me, he takes a turn to cure his team. So Pinsir is unparalyzed, and this thing is not poisoned anymore. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I can kill him for sure. So he's probably gonna want to switch out. And if he's expecting a poison move, he's going to go into Weezing. And I debated about this a long time, because I didn't know if he was going to read it or not, or whatever. But we end up both switching. He goes into Weezing, and I go into Sphinx, or Meowstic. And then he doubles back into Aromatisse, and tanks the Psychic. So then he gets to come back out with Cryogonal for free. And we miss a Paralyze, which feels bad, but it's okay. We get poisoned, so now he's on a timer, and we switch out to Glade, because Cryogonal can't really do anything against Glade, except for maybe paralyze him. Freeze him, excuse me. So we just switch into Glade, and then we take a Drain Punch. And we find out... Well, he switches into Weezing, and we find out he's Rocky Helmeted. One of the most devious items in the game. And then these two have a duel, and I believe they end up killing each other here. He protects, we get so close to death. He tries to go for another protect, but we kill him with Drain Punch and knock ourselves out. So we're sitting 5-4 right now, and he leads Pinsir. We set up a Reflect, thinking he might hit us. We get a Light Scream up, and then he knocks off our red card, which isn't a big deal. And then there I debated for a while, because I could have gone for a Paralyze, but I thought it'd be better to have a little bit left on Meowstic for later in the game, so I switch into Double. And here I can pretty freely just set up Cotton Guard and start smacking things. And that's pretty much what happens. For a little while anyway, because he poisons me. One hit KO on the Cryogonal. And then he comes out with Ludicolo. Gets a Rain Dance up. And here we have a... I believe it was a 37.5% chance to one-shot. And we get the lucky kill. So he has a Rain up, but Ludicolo's gone, so it's kind of a non-point. And then he comes in with Pinsir, and he is eventually going to whittle us away. We have 2.5 defense and the Fluffy ability, so we're not taking too much damage. But Grog eventually gets taken out. And then Skuntank comes in here. He switches into Genghis-Khan. We hit him for a Poison Jab, 33%, not bad. And here I'm just thinking, okay, I'm up 4-2 or whatever. I can go for a damaging move, or I can just poison him and be sure that he will die at some point. And that's what we do. What I don't expect is him to go for Double Edge, so Panzer here is pretty much dead on the spot after taking one Double Edge. And then we get Scyther out, we dual wing beat this guy. And now it's a 3v1, but this thing has Scarf like I was expecting, and he also has Moxie. So now he's getting his attack up, and can I play this? There we go. So he's got his attack up, and we have 2 Mons left that need to kill Pinsir. So my win condition here is just setting up a screen and killing this thing with a Thunderbolt, hopefully. He misses a Stone Edge, which I don't think matters too much because we get the screen up anyway. But he does end up getting the 2x attack, and we come in with Raichu. With the Paralyze we got, because he missed a Rock Slide, we outspeed him, and we just Thunderbolt him for the 1-0 victory here on the Blackthorn City Blastoise. I don't really know if the Rock Slide missing changes much, because I'm pretty sure with Reflect we still live a Rock Slide on Raichu unless it crits. So maybe it mattered, maybe it didn't. But yeah, it was narrowly won victory against Noah and the Blackthorn City Blastoise, and probably one of my most fun games this season to play. So GG's to Noah. Super hype game. Next week we go into our last week of regular season. I think we're playing Dinosaur Damage, Ruben, so that'll be fun. Thanks for sticking around. See you guys next week.